What's going on, y'all? Welcome back. It's Ars. I want to talk about chords. I think as a producer, some of the things that we struggle with sometimes is melody. So you're always searching for new VSTs and new plugins and things that are interesting to entice that creative spirit. So today I wanted to talk about one of the VSTs that I'm really into right now. I'd say for the last 2 to 3 weeks, I've used this on just about every beat that I've produced, and it's called Chords by Loopmaster. All of the presets and all of the sounds in this plugin sound like a combination of really great ideas and really great instruments kind of clash together, and then you add those instruments to a really great chord generator, and then you add a really great synthesizer with a lot of different waveforms and oscillators and LFOs, and you can just do some really amazing things. And so if we're going to talk about this new VST, and we're going to talk about chords, I want to talk a little bit about chord generators. Anyone who has Logic, I use Logic primarily. I know some of you use FL Studio. I'm not 100% sure about what the stock plugins for that is, but on Logic, you have a chord generator that comes with the program, and it's okay. You have other VSTs like Cthulhu and there's a lot of other chord generators out there. You're basically just turning a sound into a chord version of that sound, and that's cool, that works. But it can kind of stunt the creativity a little bit, because what I've always wanted is a chord generator that comes with its own presets of sounds and really creative sounds, a sound library of a mixture of synths and strings and keys that are turned into chords and can be manipulated. And I think that's what Chord by Loopmasters has managed to do. I think they have taken the best of your typical chord generator and they've mixed it with an insane synthesizer, and then right in the middle there you have just a great VST. Even if this thing didn't generate chords for you, it would still be a great VST because it comes with a lot of sound presets that are just really good. Like the sounds in itself are different than a lot of the other sounds that I hear on a lot of the other VSTs just in general. I got mine on Plugin Boutique. They're selling it for about $100, I believe, or $99.99. It comes with I believe it's a 14-day free trial period. You get the full version in that trial period. So that's really cool. And that's what I did initially. And by the time I got to the end of the 14 days, I just wanted to buy one. So what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna check that plugin out. We're gonna go through some of the settings, some of the features in the plugin. We'll play around with it a little bit, mess with some of the sounds, maybe make a simple beat, show you how it all comes together. But this is something you're definitely gonna wanna check out, primarily because of the presets. We're gonna check out that amazing stuff right now. So stick with me, let's get to it. So the first thing, obviously, that you're gonna do is go into your DAW. So we have it all set up right here. We have I have Logic Pro. I have a new session opened up right now, and we're gonna go to my VSTs, my audio unit instruments, and we're gonna look for Loopmasters, Chords by Loopmasters. So this is Chords, and this is the user interface of Chords. As you can see, it's set up into layers. So you have your top layer here, which is your chord layer. And this is the layer that's generating the chords for you. And then you have a bottom layer here, which is the note layer. And this is like the notes underneath the chords, right? So you have one note, and then you have your chords up top. The thing that right off the bat separates this from a lot of other chord generators is that you can separate your bottom note from your chords. So you can change the note and change the chords separately and have a totally different progression going on. Both layers come with their own set of settings. The chord layer up top here, you have your filters, you have the LFO, you have, like I said, you have your chord filter, you have your speed, so you can adjust the speed of the actual sampled instrument. You have your sample start, so you can tell the VST where you want to start the sample. And I'll show you how that works in a second. And you have your master fader for that layer. And on the bottom layer here, your note layer, you have the same exact thing. So you have your speed, you have your sample start right here, you have your filters, your LFO, and so those are both separate, so you can adjust them separately and get a totally different sound. It's allowing you to get a lot more you can get much more of a detailed edit going on your sounds here. If you look at the top layer here where it says chord layer, you have your samples, and then if you look at the bottom layer here where it says note layer, you have your samples. So you can change the sound that you want to use in your chords and have it separate from the sound that you want to use in your note layer, and have two different layers of sounds combined to give you a really interesting dynamic when it comes to that instrument. And then up top here you have your presets. So if you didn't want to, you know, like me, I'm someone who's heavy into preset, because once those creative juices is flowing, sometimes it can kind of kill your creativity if you have too much going on in the user interface, and it just kind of your mind just goes all over the place. This user interface though, even though there's a lot of other filters and a lot of settings that you can do to adjust the sounds, the interface itself is set up in a really pleasing way to the eyes. So it kind of entices you and makes you want to dig a little bit deeper and mess with the sounds, and it's not confusing. So it makes you want to, you know, dig a little bit deeper. If you look up at the top here, you have your presets, factory presets. You have pads, stabs, keys, leads, bass, string, strums, plucks, vocals, brass. You have rhythmic effects. You have percussive, atmospheric, and sound effects. Now, if you see here, you see percussive and you see atmospheric. Every single one of these categories come with a subcategory of nothing but sounds in them. As you can see right here, sound effects, all of these sound effects, atmospheres, all of these atmospheric effects, percussive, all of these percussive effects. And every single one of these sounds are already generated as chords. So you could click, let's pick keys. Let's go to E piano. So you could pick any one of these and they're already generated as chords. And then you can go over here to your chord layer and say you didn't want it to be a major, you want it to be a minor. You can go to keyboard and minor and then look for that same sound and change it up and just make it a minor key instead of a major. But so even though this instrument doesn't allow you to really create the chord patterns that you want to play, and it's kind of creating the chords for you, it's doing such a beautiful job that you don't even care. So like there's a lot of other chord generators that allow you to create the chords and adjust them how you want to adjust them. And then like I said, you have to kind of funnel an instrument through it, and it does its job. It created the chords for you, and then that's the end of it. This is creating chords for you, but it's giving you an expansive list of just amazing sounds that don't sound like any sound that you've heard in any VST. All of these sounds are like really cool and really different. And then you have all of these settings so you can further customize those sounds and really get it to what you want it to be. And there's not a lot of chord generators that do that. So let's just dive a little bit deeper into that. So we're going to go to factory settings. We're going to pick a basic chord, find something nice. So these are some chords right here. This chord is on the preset. It's called Jazz Ping Pong. So on the top layer, the chord layer, you have a jazz guitar, and on the bottom layer, your note layer, you have jazz vibes. So right over here, I can change the note of my bottom layer, and you can listen and you can hear the notes changing. And then on the top layer, the chord layer, I can change the chord and leave my bottom note where it is. See? So it allows you to kind of have a lot of different kind of progressions going on while still maintaining the essence and the feeling of that sound that you picked in the first place. So you have your note layer, you can change the notes, you can change the chords, and then you have a master right here. Once you have your chord and your note, once you have your chord layer and your note layer adjust it how you want it, you can go to the master right here and just move both of those up a note, or you can move both of those down. Right? Say you pick this preset, jazzy ping pong preset that you're listening right now, and you don't like the note layer, you don't like the jazz vibe, so you can turn this top layer down, the chord layer, you can turn the volume down and really listen to that note layer. That one note is a jazz vibe. Say that's not the note you want to go for. Say you want strings playing in the background instead of that jazz vibe. So you just click right here, and I'm gonna look and see. All right, so this jazz guitar is a major. I'm gonna go right here and go to major and go to strings. Just added a guitar to the background. Or you can add, let's do something different. Let's do synth. You can just change the note to a synth. And if you don't like that synth, you can just move forward and try something different. So this is one of the things that's so cool about this, is you have so many presets already set up for you. I mean, there's hundreds of presets going on here. And that's enough to already keep you creative and keep you motivated into creating a track. But the settings allow you to dig deeper and really customize it and do so many different things that out of one preset sound, you can get 10 to 12 new sounds just by adjusting it and changing things around, which allows you to use this VST a lot longer than you're able to use a lot of other VSTs, because it's not going to get stale on you. You got so many different things you can do with this VST to keep it fresh and keep you creating. It's great. Like if there's 100 sounds in this VST, the settings and the way you're able to customize it makes it turn into like 1,000 different possibilities of sounds that you can do and different arrangements. So yeah, you have that. This is the small UI right here. This is like the basic UI. If you want to dive even deeper, you can click up here where it says full, and this thing opens up. And now you have a whole nother array of settings down here that you can dig a little bit deeper. So you have you have your voice settings, you have your glide control, range, pitch, and modulation. You can change the pitch. Right? And then you have your effects table right here in the center. Your effects table comes with 3 selected effects. So you have a chorus effect, a delay, and a reverb. And this applies, everything down here applies to both layers up top. So your chord and your note layer is both rooted in these settings down here in the bottom. Your effects table, like I said, it has a chorus, a delay, and a reverb, and you can turn them on and off. Like say you only want your chorus to play, you can turn that on and off. If you only want the delay to play, you can turn that on and off. If you want the reverb to play, you can turn that on and off. Or you can have everything playing together. In the chorus effect right here, you hit the drop down menu and you have a selection of different types of chorus effects. So if you want something a little more phasey, you can turn that on, and you can change the rate of that phase, and you can change how much of the chorus effect you want activated on the sound. So you can turn it down or turn it up, make it a little more wet. You have your delay effect right here. You can change it from ping pong to cross to stereo. I like stereo. You can change the timing of your delay. You can sync it, or you can change the timing, adjust it how you want to adjust it. You can adjust the feedback, and you can adjust how much of the delay you want on it. So this is no delay at all, and that's the delay, stereo delay. I love the stereo delay. You have reverb. The reverb is off at the moment. I have it turned all the way down, but because the effect, the chords already have kind of like a very wide and roomy kind of feel to it. But I'll turn it on just so you can hear. You hit the drop down menu on reverb. You have bright reverbs, a mid reverb, and a dark reverb. I like dark reverbs. So you can turn it up. And You can hear how that sounds already. So like I was saying, the customization in here allows you to do a lot of different things with these sounds that you couldn't necessarily do in a lot of other chord generators. So we'll go through the presets. Let's just try to lay something down just to see how this thing works out. So we'll go through the presets. We'll click. You know what? I'm gonna just go to the introduction. Start at the top. Come on, man. Listen to that. It's crazy. So yeah, you got voices. You could turn the voices into a chord. See, this is an example of what I was talking about earlier. Even if this wasn't a chord generator, the sounds that it comes with are already dope. Let's just for the sake of trying this VST out, let's just pick that sound, and we'll go to more sounds in a second. But we're gonna start off with this. Click on recording. Let's see what we got going on here. I don't like that last note, so we're gonna change that last note up. I really love Logic's interface. It's really cool. I think that's what I want. So we have this going on here. We're gonna use some stock drums today, just because I don't feel like I'm not even gonna lie, I'm not really in the mood to make a beat right now. I'm just doing it just so we can see how this thing comes together. But yeah, we're gonna use some stock drums just so we can just get something going real quick. A lot of times when I do my drums, I just do anything. Most of the time it's not what I'm gonna end up keeping, but there might, within the first 2 bars or the last 4 bars, there might be a pattern in there that I'm really feeling, and then I'll loop that pattern. So it's just to get some, just to get something started. So then we'll go back to the chords, just a little bit of seasoning. You hear these sounds, man? These sounds are crazy, bro. Like, you can literally sit here with this VST and just get so caught up in the sounds that you don't even make a beat for like an hour. Like, when I first got this, I literally sat here going through the sounds and I didn't even make a beat at all. I remember I think it was like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I bought it, and then I sat here with it for like an hour, and then after an hour of just going through sounds, I got tired and I'm just like, fuck it, I'm gonna go to sleep. That's how crazy this shit is. You don't even make a beat. You just sit here like, yo, who made these sounds, bro? Who curated this? The only thing I wish they had, like, if you could funnel your own samples through here, that would be crazy. Like, if you had your own, like, I have my own folder of sounds that I created and curated myself. If I could go into that folder and funnel them through this VST and have this VST turn those into chords and then be able to still use the settings that this comes with, I'd probably never use another VST again. So we're gonna just add this to the background just to add it in there. All I did was hold that note. That's the crazy thing. You just hold that note. The sample is so long that it has a lot of different transitions, and it changes. And those two things together just sound beautiful. drums. Well, I'm gonna leave it there like that. As you can already see, it does a lot. So this is a really great VST. I recommend all producers to go down the plugin boutique, look up Chords by Loopmasters. I would definitely download the trial version. It's free, so you can just play around with it. And if it's not for you, it's not for you. But you have 14 days with it. It's definitely something that I feel will not only take your production to the next level, but it's something you can sit with for a long time, man. Like, if anyone is out there that's looking for a new VST to buy, like you just want one VST that you can sit with for a while and really explore it and really make a lot of new beats, this is it. This is definitely it. I've bought a lot of VSTs over the last couple of months. I like a lot of them, but I could trade all of those VSTs in and just have bought this one and just sat with it for the whole rest of the year, and I'd be fine. So definitely check it out. Thank you for checking in, and yeah, we'll see you on the next one. Peace.